Water Hazard going to be map number 1. This is kind of interesting. The Riders and the Centurions both still... I think all teams are really still learning how to play
We
this
gotta
map.
pause. Two people crashed already.
2 people crashed. All right. That gives us time to go over loadouts, though. For the Riders, showing up for the first time today, we have the Friend Fish, a Goldie being piloted by Dementio. Hwacha on the front, with, interestingly enough, no Gatling, but instead double Carronade. They also have the Libglib. Libglib. I think that's how they want it pronounced. Yeah, they have the Libglib. It's a Junker being piloted by Mysterious Medic. It has a Hades Artemis on the port side, another Artemis on the front, and Gat Mortar on the starboard. Wow, a lot of Junkers today.
Yeah, that is pretty surprising. I was just talking about how Junkers may be falling out of meta, and lo and behold, there's a lot of them today. Anyway, for the blue team, we have the RAS Brock Sampson, a Permidian piloted by Angry Walnuts. And that is Gat Caro, the nice little rammy build. That's a lot of fun to fly, with a Banshee mine launcher on the side. And to wrap things up, the RAS Serrano making a comeback, this time sporting the Hwacha, with a flamethrower and another flamethrower on the side. This build gets the James T. Kirk stamp of approval.
Yeah, that is a lot of fire. Now... Oh, it's interesting. Usually when we see a Hwacha, we see a Gatling along with it for a little bit of kill potential after they completely disable their opponent. But in this case, they have none. Absolutely none.
The Friendfish has got Carronades, which are not so bad at stripping armor either. I mean, obviously it's most prevalent in the heavy Carronade, but a light Carronade, not too shabby either. Not Gatling levels of armor strip, but it's certainly better than, I don't know, like a mortar or something.
Yeah, maybe. It's better than a mortar, yeah. But really, you want to be putting it into the balloon, so it's not going to be doing a whole lot of hull. I mean, you can't... I don't think that you can really let it go.
I don't know. We'll definitely be seeing how this works, as neither of these Hwacha fish are bringing a Gatling for support, but both of their allies, I believe, have one, either Gat Caro or Gat Mortar.
Yeah, this is Gatling. This is something we haven't seen for a while. Gatling Carronade made its debut in the Hephaestus Challenge, and ever since then we haven't seen it. Like we saw it like maybe once or twice as teams continued experimenting with it, but up until now there hasn't been much. But obviously, Angry Walnuts looking to bring it back. It was SPQR that debuted it.
Yeah, and then we saw Overwatch adapt it a little bit. When I first saw it, I wasn't so sure. I wasn't sure where the perma sort of damage was supposed to come from, and I was very iffy about it for a long time until I had someone explain it to me. And then after it was explained to me, I started seeing it being used properly. I don't know if that was just coincidence or if I was just looking at it the wrong way. The entire point is that is the ideal ramming build, because when you have double Gatling, what it does is that it still allows for like vertical escapes. That's the easiest way to dodge a ram, is just to go above or below it. And what the Carronade does is it damages or destroys the balloon to the point where it turns a ship not only into a giant ramming hitbox, but also makes it virtually impossible to dodge the ram vertically. So when used properly, it's a devastating ram build.
Yeah, it negates hydrogen essentially. Like that's the big thing. Is you can have vertical mobility, but the only one that's really going to be able to dodge that easily is a Mobula. It's stopping
in crew chat that Gatling Carronade was used versus Mandarins prior to Hephaestus by Fiasco Total.
Thank you.
So,
thank you,
Scrim. Thank you, Scrim. Correcting us as we do need correction every so often. Nobody's perfect, especially not you and I.
Yeah. So Scully's saying he saw it all the time. It's like, well, not really in competitive play. It didn't see regular competitive play for a long time.
You know what builds I still don't quite get, but it works sometimes? It's Gatling Artemis, or Caro Artemis, the Carrot build. I mean, I'm still a little iffy on Carrot.
Carronade Artemis is fine if you have a long-range side, in my opinion.
It's got a lot of shatter, so you can do really perma at long range or close range. Anyway, we'll get back to that later as the Rock Samson finally finds a target. and starts engaging on the Friendfish. Serrano close behind.
Is going for the ram. Friendfish is backing up. First Watcha doesn't really do a whole lot. Libglib taking shots as it approaches, but it looks like this Gatling carronade may be able to find its target.
Yeah, they are closing as fast as they can. Ipiri going forward is slightly faster than a Goldfish going backwards. Libglib takes a heavy Watcha, loses a lot of stuff. The Brock Samson, however, only loses its front 2 guns. I mean, very crucial weapons, but they've still got lots of engines running very nicely.
Yeah, in this case, we have a disabled ship on either side fighting the kill ship on either side. The Friendfish desperately trying to get away from the Brock Samson and move in on the RAS Serrano to try and liberate its ally. However, Gatling going to continue going into the Friendfish. Armor almost drops. Oh, there it goes. Brock Samson
is not so hot either. If a Hwacha were to land on the Friendfish now, it would be devastating. But here comes a ram from the Brock Samson right as the hull drops. Does a good chunk of promo and going to careen them into the wall.
Huge ram onto the Friendfish, and the Brock Samson is not done. It is going to keep following. Gatling goes into the armor, shreds it. Carronade almost able to finish off the hull. One more round will do it for the Friendfish.
Yeah, while the Serrano is just Goomba stomping the Libglib continually. That's pretty impressive considering that they don't have a carronade. However, that Gatling is going into their hull. It's going to strip it very soon unless that Hwacha goes out.
Ooh, ram gonna throw him off a little bit there. Hwacha gonna disable the Gatling and the mortar and the armor and maybe completely destroy it.
And it does. Brock Samson also taking down the Friendfish, and this is a strong opener for the blue team as they have lost no perma.
No perma hull at all. Brock Samson able to make use of that carronade quite nicely. It's hard to disable a Hwacha. Oh, hello, we have an AI. They have Grover.
Grover, here to save the day.
Wait.
Super Grover.
Oh, wait. Okay, there we go. He's back. We're good. Didn't even get to take a look at his yellow glory.
No more Super Grover. And that was possibly the shortest pause in SCS history, as now we are moving once again.
Friendfish. Just hanging out back. Now, I wonder if the Rydrs are going to move together again. Are they going to have the Friendfish go ahead of the Lib? Apparently that's how you pronounce it according to chat, but Libglib sounds so much nicer.
I like Libglib better than Lib. I mean, it rolls off the tongue easier. It's more. I find it more aesthetically pleasing. Aesthetically pleasing? Is that the proper word?
Audibly, I think.
Audibly, yeah. Aesthetic is for visual things, isn't it?
Aesthetic, yeah. Aesthetics, I think, is exclusively visual.
Okay, well, it's more auditorily pleasing.
Sure. We'll go with that. We'll go with that one.
Yeah, whatever you say, Kirk. As you pat me on the head, ruffle my hair, and shove me out the door on my way to school.
Oh, you. Okay, Gunner lost hit markers, so it looks like connection problems team-wide. We're going to have to take a minute.
Man, why don't you guys everyone just DC and re-C? You know? You know what? I'm going to take a bite of the food I hear I've been silently munching on, and, just because everyone else is disconnecting. Rice. Delicious.
Rice?
Yeah. Rice and broccoli with a little bit of soy.
I haven't eaten yet today.
You haven't eaten anything today?
No, not today. However, my roommate and I did go grocery shopping, and we go to Winco, and I found cans of chili for 98 cents a piece.
Whoa!
I'm just
so you're gonna be eating chili for days.
See, so the thing about Winco is that every so often they seem to misprice something.
Okay.
When we were having a bunch of friends over to watch Breaking Bad, we did that, for like half a year or something. Had people come over. We got these decently sized veggie platters for like 99 cents a piece, and it came with ranch. It had all these different kinds of veggies, and it's just like, this is an amazing deal. So we got a ton of them. Then we did that for a couple weeks, and we came back, and they were gone. I think they've realized their error, and I'm afraid that they're going to realize. I'm afraid that they're going to realize their error with the chili.
The great chili error.
So I got like 8 cans of it.
Oh man. So we've got unpause has happened. These two, the blue team is completely spotted, and they're probably going to run into each other around the corner here, and we're going to see the next engagement and how all of that peels down.
Joe Rimmer's ready on that Hwacho. What does he have loaded? I believe he has heavy clip. I imagine it's heavy clip, and that's not that's just chem spray covering the Hwacha.
So interestingly enough, the Friendfish is running a gunner, while the Serrano is not. So while the Friendfish has the ability to bring that gunner has heavy clip, he has heatsink and he has burst, so he's getting maximum potential out of that Hwacha, and the ability to slightly extinguish his own gun. While the Serrano is bringing only burst for Money Diver. Everyone else has Lesmok, probably for those flamers. However, while having less ammo abilities, they do have a buff hammer on that front Hwacha.
Well, you know what that means, right?
What does that mean?
That means that they're going to be very dependent on that flamer. The flamers are going to be core weapons for that goldfish because they don't have the range, so they have to close distance, which means they're probably going to use the flamer. Now, in the meantime, Brock Sampson moving on the Friendfish, coming in a little bit low. Gatling
excellent
going
move
into the
coming
armor.
In low. Excellent move coming in low as they were able to just take that Hwacha with the nose cone of the Piri and defend those vital front guns as they ram and just generally chase the Friendfish out of arcs of the Lib as Hwacha connects with him now, takes out all but a single weapon and a single engine.
They are burning engines really hard. They get the Goomba Stomp, throw him out of the way. In the meantime, the Serrano on the Libglib. Again, we have each disable ship on the kill ship of the other team. Libglib gonna get pretty heavily disabled. Not a whole lot that it can do for a little while. And it's not going to be able to go and assist its ally.
Brock Sampson also took a Hwacha in the middle of that, and it was marginally
overshot.
Barely anything happened, but he did miss a very, very crucial ram, and his guns are off arc, and they're going to be for quite some time, while the Friendfish has the ability to maybe repair and get themselves in a little bit better of a situation.
Yeah, look at that. The Brock Sampson going through all these ships and the bridges, destroying these poor villagers' livelihoods.
Oh man, all of that hard work and sacrifice to get where they are today in their lovely fishing villages, and they just got a random Hermidian just absolutely ended them.
Libglib is just getting perpetually Hwacha'd. There is nothing it can do. There we go. Okay, gets its Gatling back up, able to keep one of its turning engines, I think. In the meantime, the Brock Sampson continuing on the Friendfish, but the Friendfish just staying vertically, just at the wrong altitude constantly. Banshee coming in, gonna spread a little bit of fire. There we go, balloons down. Karenade gonna take care of that. In the meantime, up high, not a whole lot happening.
Reloading, and there it is. Now
Serrano.
It's armor comes up, but the Friendfish is just in between a rock and a hard place, almost literally.
Serrano, in the meantime, eating a lot of Gatling and Mortar. Armor drops. Mortar, nicely timed. If they can just land, that'd be wonderful. Serrano's armor comes back up in time.
Good timing, poor aiming.
Well, to be fair, the Junker is moving quite a bit, trying to make sure that the Hwacha can't hit him. But look at that. One more, just like a couple more hits from the Gatling would have done it.
Yeah.
In the meantime, down low, Friendfish has managed to get its way out.
Yeah, very impressively. Last time we saw him, he was, in between. He was about to follow the example of the current shipwreck that is down in the water there. But now the Brock Sampson is just following the Friendfish, keeping his front weapons up, which is absolutely critical. Excellently done.
Yeah, Frogger pointing out in chat what the Junker is doing is every time they get disabled on the Hwacha, they reload and then start going into the armor. Good timing. Now, here we go, Friendfish. This may be it for the Friendfish. They're getting Gatling going down, Banshee going in as well, Balloon gonna fall.
Karenade will be in arc any second now. There it is. Balloon is out. They are so close to the ground. The Gatling is going to strip away the last little bit of their hull, and the ground plus Gatling equals death.
All the water, as it were. Not made for the water, they're made for the air.
Yes, airships, not to be confused with sea ships. As the Serrano has sort of backed away from the Lib. Brock Sampson, however, has no qualms about closing distance. Gatling going in. What's that gun? The Karenade also going in. What's that one gun? It's like a shotgun, but not.
But not.
Damage.
Now the Libglib was trying to get out of there, but the Serrano got to come in from the side. Beautiful ram.
By the Serrano. As soon as that hull dropped, that Watcha finished off the hull, did a little bit of perma, and that little bump finished them off.
0-4 in favor of the Centurions. Rydr's really got their work cut out for them. I mean, the Rydrs have been doing so well in the Sunday Community Skirmish for a good long while, but 4-0. Wow.
Well, it's not like we haven't seen a 4-0 today already go in the complete other direction, so let's not count out the Rydrs quite yet.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mean, the Serrano is very low on permahull. It's very likely that they can take the next engagement. And a lot of these engagements have been very close. I think that the score doesn't quite do these fights justice. Just because these fights could have gone either way the whole time.
Yeah.
I just feel like the Junker piloting from Luiosi and his command of his crew has been phenomenal this game, and his ability to rein them in, like Frogger was saying in chat, timing those Gatling shots just right, methodically taking care of their opponents and dealing with the Watchafish, which in general should counter a Junker.
Yeah, as a goldfish, I say this all the time, but the very basic level of Guns Vigorous, like absolute bare bones minimum, is it's a rock paper scissors between Junkers, Goldfish, and Piri, where Piri beats Goldfish, Goldfish beats Junker, and Junker beats Pyramidion. Again, that's very basic, very bare bones, assuming all meta, assuming all equal pilot skills. But here we saw a
lack of cleverness.
A Junker hold off a Goldfish very, very well for quite some time before the Piri came in.
I gotta say, one of the big deciding factors was no Gatling. There's no Gatling on the Serrano. There's no Gatling on either of these Goldfish, and we see it because they sometimes are able to disable components with it, oftentimes break armor so that the Watcher can go into the hull, pick up a kill, but there's none. There's no Gatling this game, and so these Watchafish are dedicated disablers.
Yeah. We're seeing a lot more of the shatter component of the Watcher than we are the explosive component of the Hotshot, which is usually the way it goes, but this match in particular.
Friendfish goes flying past the Serrano, using the Carronade on its side a little bit to damage the balloon, kind of force it down. Brock Sampson, in the meantime, trying to assist its ally, but the Libglib getting some nice shots on the Brock Sampson.
Yeah, Brock Sampson, however, again, keeping those front guns up, which is the most important weapons on a Pyramidion. However, losing hull, which is arguably even more important, Artemis's are beginning to sink in, and he lost a lot of hull very quickly.
Yes, he did. I thought that the Friendfish was facing him, but he actually ran past, leaving the Libglib to deal with Brock Sampson. I don't care if it's Lib-G Lib. Friendfish charges forward, gets the quick kill on the Serrano, knew that the permahull had to be low, and no problem.
Brock Sampson, just a single look at that Piri and that broken nose cone very clearly says that he is also hurting quite badly. The red team is not quite sure how, but they know that he is not in pristine condition and are very likely to die when his hull armor drops. So he is running away.
Here we go, Geo Rimmer. Gonna send out another Watcher Barrage. If this can just land in the engine column, the Brock Sampson may be in a little bit of trouble, and that is exactly what he's going for. Mine launcher down, not quite going to be able to disable the engines at all.
Very cleverly, they are hiding their engines from the, they're retreating backwards around this little bit of hardcover here. However, Friendfish is closing in from the other side, and the Lib-G Lib is closing in from the opposite side. They are absolutely trapping the Brock Sampson here as he tries to escape low, but right into the arcs of those Artemis light rocket launchers.
He's going to fruitlessly buy time, it looks like. Its allies not coming in. Friendfish actually might be able to get a shot on the engine column of the Brock Sampson. If it can take down those buffs, then they may be able to kill the Brock Sampson before it can get back over to its ally. The Serrano staying back, saying, if you can get out of this, that's great, but I'm not going to risk a meat grind.
Yeah, especially considering that the blue team needs only one more point to win. Red team needing 4 more points to win. An excellent Watcher going in. This Ram not even going to finish off. Artemis kill steal from the Lib-G Lib. Friendfish probably was all ready for that Ram, that pilot, whoever he is. Let's see, the... Dementia was probably all ready for that Ram, and it was stolen from him by his ally. My tears for you, my friend. I know those feels.
That would have been a sweet ram. However, we did get the pleasure of seeing the Goldie run through the remains of the Pyrrha.
Yeah, that was quite pretty. And the riders begin their comeback. However, that was partially due to the fact that the Serrano was essentially a dead fish flying. He had no perma left, and we'll see if the riders are able to do it again here, turning this into a 4-4 engagement.
Yeah, that being said, hull is high. Like, everyone's perma hull is full. Brock Samson is spotted, so is the Friendfish, and the Lib looking like it's going to come in from on high.
Yeah, we're seeing these two ships are close to each other on the map, but elevation-wise, there's quite a distance between them. Serrano and Brock Samson a little bit closer, but Hades Fire is starting to rein in now. Samson closing distance on the Friendfish. Friendfish watching the Serrano. Serrano escaping more or less okay.
Brock Samson might be able to get a little bit of an uppercut. No, Friendfish dodges around. Lib in the meantime going to take a nasty Watcher Barrage. That is everything disabled that could have been disabled with that Watcher Barrage, I think. Now Flamethrower going to go out.
Now, the thing is, Gat Caro, the idea is that they're going to be so focused on pairing the balloons that Chem Sprays are going to fail.
Friendfish eating damage. That Banshee able to get on the hull. There it goes out of arc, however.
Yeah, Friendfish is out of balloon and out of hull. They are a giant hitbox for the Brock Samson to turn around and re-engage on Serrano, getting a nice double flamer out there. Now focusing almost solely on the Friendfish. A Watcher going Lib. Excellent split fire.
Yep, going to bring down quite a bit on Lib. Friendfish in the meantime eating damage from the Brock Samson. Isn't going to be able to get the Ram. Balloon is damaged. I don't think it can get out of this. Ram goes into the armor. Or actually, they destroyed the balloon with that.
Yeah, Brock Samson, again, able to keep those front guns up through the Watcher, pinning the Friendfish to the ground. I believe this is going to be match as a squish comes in. Friendfish gets their hull up.
Almost.
But it's about to go down. Their balloon is out, and the water is going to finish them off here. That's it.
Yep. That's all they needed. Follow them down. Quick. I wouldn't call that quick, actually. That was a very assured kill, however.
Yeah, there was a...
the Gatling was keeping that Watcher down.
Yeah,
the Carronade was coming out constantly.
Yep, keeping that balloon down, keeping that hull down, and yeah. Riders able to avoid a 5-0 loss, but not able to avoid the loss altogether as round 1 goes to SPQR.
Centurions played very nicely.